not saying you can't believe what you want to believe. What this is about is what happened to me in athletics. It's called Title IX. You guys know what Title IX was? Okay. Title IX originally started, and I'm old, so it started a long time ago, in the 70s, okay? Title IX was about equal treatment, particularly of women in sports. The men were taking a charter bus to the games, and I was driving a van, with 15 girls in it to go to the games, okay? And they said, that's unfair. And I said, you're right, that's unfair. And I worked for the school newspaper, and I wrote about it, and the football players slashed my tires and all that, and I fought for Title IX, okay? I fought for Title IX. And then I found out it wasn't about that at all. Because after the girls got equal treatment, that wasn't enough.
Take yours away.
They went after the men. What it was about was destroying conservative institutions. And the most conservative institution is football, where you learn about independence and you learn about, it's relying on each other and teamwork and things like that. Okay? And they were trying to destroy it. And then it got further, and you should be familiar with the Michigan Law School case. The Supreme Court has ruled that it went all the way up to, well, now Title IX means you've got to have equal representation in your law school students. And what they found was a disproportionate number of blacks were getting seats in law school who were not qualified and were flunking out, and perfectly qualified white people weren't getting those jobs. Or those spots in the law school. Because it wasn't about equality. It's about attacking conservative institutions. So take Title IX, which is destroying male sports. Think what happened, folks. I grew up in a time where they started giving trophies to every kid on the team. Right? And every team in the league. And you finished first and they finished last, and you all got the same trophy because that's fair.
It's Obamacare.
Yeah, that may be fair, but that ain't life. No. And that ain't going to prepare you for life. And you know what? That's an insult to those kids because they're smart enough to know who finished first, second, third, and fourth. And even though you told them not to keep score, they were keeping score. Okay? Because it's in your DNA. It's who you are. It's human nature. It's human psychology. And this goes against that. Okay? So now they take the same game plan, and we're going to talk about gay rights. Well, first of all, equal protection under the law, right? We're all the same. That's what makes America great. But now we've got hate crimes, right? So now you kill my white daughter, that's not a hate crime. But if I kill your black daughter, that's a hate crime, and I get a harsher punishment. What's that? Why do gays need their own laws? Senator Portman? Why do gays need their own law? Senator Frank LaRose, who proposed the same thing in the House Senate? They don't. They have all the protection they need. What they want is the word marriage. What they want is the word marriage.
They want to be accepted.
They want to use that to destroy marriage and destroy your church. Because what they want is, and Senator Portman can talk about all the religious protection he wants. Right? And when he voted, and make no mistake about it, Senator Rob Portman was the key vote in the cloture vote for this Edna thing. Okay? This thing that's supposed to be equal opportunity for gays. He voted for it. And then he put forward these protections for religious institutions. The protections are for churches, religious affiliated schools, and religious hospitals. And I wrote to him the next day. I said, Senator, let me ask a question. Your exemptions are for those three categories. Catholic adoption agencies are the most successful adoption agencies in this nation. They place more children in homes successfully than anyone. They would have no protection under this. Because Senator Portman came out for gay adoption. And Catholic adoption agencies will not place people with gays. Because their Bible tells them so. And they believe it, and they have that right under the Constitution. But under this law, they will get sued. And the largest Catholic adoption group was in Massachusetts. And they have been shut down. They're gone. What happens to those kids? Okay? Do you see what's going on here? The fact of the matter is that when you have an unlawful legal system headed up by Eric Holder, who's a criminal, okay, who's a person who does not understand the law or the Constitution, okay, and you're going to say to me that because Senator Portman put this in a law, in a bill, that Eric Holder's not going to sue? He's not going to take it to the Ninth Circuit Court in California, right? Folks, I used to think that we were in the fort defending America against this onslaught of progressivism, but we're not. We're out in the woods. They're in the fort. They took the fort 60, 70 years ago and just didn't tell us. And they're mad as a hornet at us, and every other word out of their mouth is Tea Party this and Tea Party that. You know why? Because we're shining the flashlight on those roaches. Right? Because we are telling them the truth. And I wrote an article that got published in our local paper just this last week. And I said, you have ridiculed us for 4.5 years. You've called us every name you can call us. But we have been right about virtually everything we've done. Because we're conservatives. We see with our own eyes. We hear with our own ears. We do our own math. And we know right from wrong. And we're not fooled. And they want to shut you up. And they want to make sure you don't have any candidates. That's what they want to make sure of. And so when people say to me, oh, I hope Ted Cruz will be the Republican candidate, Ted Cruz has about a snowball's chance in hell of being Republican candidate. Because they aren't about winning the election. They're about money and power. Why else would you have this all-star team of Bob Dole, John McCain, and Mitt Romney? Okay? If you threw a dart at a dartboard, you could do better than that. Okay? Because it's not about that. Because you know what? John McCain stays a senator no matter what happens. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce gives John McCain all kinds of money no matter what happens. Right? They think they're better than us. And they are in charge. And they don't like you because you're questioning their power. And just like the Fairfield and the Geauga County chairman are saying, you try to take it, we won't let you, book it. Okay? Book it. In New York State, they don't even have elections for their central committee. That's not because of this issue. In New York State, they're all appointed for the Republican Party. They will change the bylaws. They will do everything. Because you know what? There's one thing I've learned about the Republican Party. They don't believe in our form of government. They've never had an honest vote in their history. The Republican Party couldn't meet to have coffee without having a meeting the night before to decide what kind of coffee you're going to have. It's always the meeting before the meeting. Okay? Because you know what? They don't want to take chances. Go back to Senate Bill 193. Go back to what happened to Andy Thompson. Okay? And when you see this video, you'll see what happened to Matt Lynch. But here's what got me. Our auditor, Dave Yost, who I think's done a great job, and he stood up to the governor, and he's audited, he's done a lot of things. Dave Yost was on the phone lobbying House members to vote for SB 193 to limit third parties' ability to get on the ballot because he didn't want a challenge for auditor. Man up, son! Are you kidding me? You're afraid of the Constitution candidate? Or the Green Party candidate who has 1% of your money? Has no access to the media you've got? And you want to eliminate him because you're so, I don't know, have such a poor self-image that you don't even think you can compete? That's who's running our country and our state. He should resign. He should resign. If I was John Kasich, I would be begging people to run against me in the primary. I'd be begging you. You know why? Because I want to prove I'm the best guy. I want you to come out of the primary so fired up to elect me governor again that you can't